Single dad forced to marry disabled billionaire. On wedding day, she stood from her chair for his triplets. Rashid worked 2 jobs and still struggled. After his wife's death, life felt heavier than bricks. Every morning, he packed 3 small lunchboxes, tied 3 messy shoelaces, and kissed 3 sleepy foreheads. His triplets were his only reason to wake smiling, despite exhaustion and constant worry about tomorrow. One evening, his landlord knocked harshly. Rent was overdue again. Rashid apologized softly, promising payment soon, but the man warned eviction within a week. The girls heard everything from behind the curtain. They hugged their father silently. That night, Rashid stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, praying desperately for miracle help. The next morning at the hotel where he worked as driver, his manager called him inside urgently. A wealthy business family needed a responsible man immediately. The offer sounded strange. They wanted a temporary husband for their daughter, a wheelchair-bound billionaire who refused every arranged marriage proposal so far. Rashid thought they were joking, but the manager remained serious. The contract promised a house, education for the triplets, and financial security. In return, he would marry her publicly for 1 year. After that, both could separate peacefully. Rashid's hands trembled. It felt like selling dignity for survival. He refused at first. Marriage was sacred to him, and he still loved his late wife's memories. But when he reached home, he saw empty food shelves and the girls sharing 1 glass of milk. The youngest whispered, "Abu, tomorrow will we still have our home?" His heart broke completely inside. The following day, he met her. Her name was Aliyah Karim, a young billionaire known for intelligence and silence. She sat in an elegant wheelchair near the window. Her eyes were calm but lonely. She spoke gently, saying she only needed a husband to stop greedy relatives controlling her company. She promised she would never replace the children's mother. Rashid noticed she kept glancing at the triplets' photograph he carried. Instead of arrogance, she showed kindness. Before leaving, she quietly paid his overdue rent. Rashid stood shocked. No stranger had ever cared about his dignity before. After long prayers that night, Rashid accepted the contract. The girls worried he would forget them after marrying a rich lady. He knelt beside them and promised, "You 3 will always be my world." They hugged him tightly, and for the first time in months, he slept peacefully without fear. Wedding preparations began quickly. Media channels covered every moment because Aliyah was famous. Designers measured Rashid for expensive suits he never imagined wearing. Still, inside, he felt nervous. This wasn't love, only responsibility. He kept reminding himself it was sacrifice for his daughter's safe future and education. The triplets met Aliyah days before the ceremony. They brought handmade drawings as gifts. She smiled warmly, placing them carefully beside her bed. She asked their favorite stories and listened patiently. Soon the girls laughed freely around her. Rashid noticed something rare. His daughters trusted her immediately without hesitation. One night, Rashid overheard servants whispering. Doctors believed Aliyah might never walk again after a childhood accident. She rarely attended public events because people pitied her. Rashid suddenly understood her loneliness. Wealth surrounded her, but companionship never stayed. Their marriage suddenly felt less like contract and more understanding. Finally, the wedding day arrived. The hall glittered with chandeliers and cameras. Guests waited eagerly to see the mysterious groom. Rashid stood nervously near the stage. The triplets sat beside him holding flowers. Music played as Aliyah entered, gently pushed in her wheelchair by her caretaker slowly forward. During the ceremony, the priest asked for vows. Rashid spoke honestly, promising respect and protection. Aliyah's voice trembled as she promised care for him and his daughters. Suddenly, the youngest triplet began crying. She whispered she wished her new mother could hug them, standing like other mothers everywhere. Silence filled the hall. Aliyah looked at the girls, eyes shining with emotion. She slowly gripped the chair's handles. Doctors shouted warnings softly, but she ignored them. With shaking legs, she pushed herself upward. Step by step, painfully, she stood. Gasps echoed as she walked forward toward the children. She reached them and wrapped her arms around all three. The girls froze in shock, then hugged tightly. Rashid's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she wasn't a billionaire or patient. She was simply a mother. Cameras flashed wildly, but none captured the emotion filling that moment. Doctors later explained emotional motivation sometimes awakens strength beyond therapy. Aliyah collapsed afterward, but kept smiling. She whispered to Rashid, "I wanted them never to feel different because of me." Rashid held her hand gently. Something changed in his heart. The marriage no longer felt like agreement anymore. Weeks passed. She practiced walking daily with determination, encouraged by the triplets cheering every step. Rashid helped during therapy sessions. They ate dinner together and shared stories every night. Slowly, laughter replaced silence in the mansion. Servants noticed the lonely house finally sounded like a real family home. One evening, the girls called her Ami naturally while showing homework. Aliyah paused, eyes wet again. Rashid watched quietly, realizing happiness had entered unexpectedly. The contract year still existed, yet none spoke about its ending anymore. They began planning birthdays, school events, and vacations together like ordinary parents. On the anniversary of their wedding, Rashid brought simple flowers, not expensive jewelry. He thanked her for giving his daughters security and love. Aliyah replied softly she received more. She gained a family. They both understood their feelings were real now, no longer bound by signatures or obligation. Rashid tore the contract papers that evening. He said he would stay even without money. The triplets clapped joyfully. Aliyah stood beside him without support, walking slowly but proudly. Their forced marriage had turned into genuine love, proving sometimes destiny disguises blessings inside life's most difficult decisions and sacrifices.